Hello folks, I'm going to be doing, everybody does all these videos. I'm going to be doing my favorite books of 2018 that I've read. And also, I'm going to include the TV shows that I watched and also the games that I played. So, without further ado, I'm going to get started. So, let's do it. Oh, and also I'm going to go with, gonna get started with that. So, I'm gonna get started with the standalones first. And for the books that I don't personally own myself in my library, I'm gonna just have a little slideshow at the end just to show the books and TV shows and the games also. So, it'll all be a big slideshow at the end. But first and foremost, it's not going to be in any order whatsoever. I'm just going to show you the books that I read. But I'm going to start with the standalones first. Okay. Alrighty. I'm going to start with A Man Called Uva. It's basically a story about Uva. He's quote-unquote the grumpiest man on earth, and he's lost his wife recently, and he's just going through his trial and tribulations as a widower, and he has new neighbors that move in, and it causes him to come out of his shell from being a grumpy man. But it's just so heartwarming, and I cried at the end. And pick it up if you can. The audiobook is fabulous. So, A Man Called Uva. Then I have The Last Jedi. If you know me, you know that Star Wars is a big favorite thing of mine. And this is the novelization of The Last Jedi. It was perfection. Also, I'm big into the Reylo ship, just like Tasha from Tashopolis on BookTube also. But yeah, this book is amazing. It's even got illustrations to show you that. There's Kylo Ren right there. And a few more. It's great. I loved it for what it was worth. It entertained me. I finished it in one sitting. And, yeah. Star Wars, The Last Jedi. I finished Ready Player One before the movie came out. And it's by Ernest Cline. It basically takes place in the year 2044. There is a big game to collect 3 keys and collect a fortune from a millionaire. And it's just got a lot of references in it. And it was fun. It entertained me. I finished it in a day. And I want to reread this at some point. So Ready Player One. Just gonna. I'm kind of keeping notes in my notebook while I do this, just so I know which books I own and which books I don't own. Okay. Alrighty. The Way I Used to Be. It deals with a girl's process going through a rape. So, content warning about that. And it's just how it affected her. So, The Way I Used to Be, it was great. Zadie was really good too. I listened to the audiobook. And Emmy and Oliver, I listened to the audiobook also. It was very good. Under Rotated Skies was really good. Also, one of my favorites. Like I said, I'm going to attach photos of the books that I do not own. Far from the Tree, I listened to that in audiobook, and it's basically 3 siblings that all share the same mother, but different fathers. 2 were adopted, both girls were adopted off into loving families, while the son was thrown into a foster care and was through a foster care system over and over, and they connect, and one of the siblings recently gave birth to a child, so she's interested in finding out who her birth mother is, and it's heartwarming, it's wonderful, and you should pick it up if you haven't. The audiobook is excellent. So there's that. I'm just, like I said, I'm marking it down as I do them. I read the graphic novel Nimoa. That was really wonderful. It was quick and easy. I read it for a reading challenge, and I give it 5 out of 5 stars. I listened to the audiobook So Close to Being the Shit Y'all Don't Even Know. That was by Retta. She is a comedian / actress that starred in one of my new favorite shows ever that I finished this year, which is Parks and Recreation. And the book was hysterical. I love seeing her autobiography or listening to her autobiography. So if you're looking for something that will make you laugh, keep you interested, that's right up your alley. I also listened to What If It's Us by Becky Albertelli and Adam Silvera. It's a meet cute situation, but they never gave each other their numbers, and yeah, we go from there. Very good book. I highly recommend it also. And then, like I said, I read Emmy and Oliver. I really love that. You follow Oliver. He recently was, when he was very, very young, he was taken or kidnapped by his father and raised with his father when his mother actually had custody of him, and then him becoming reacquainted in his own life, and yeah, just go from there. I also listened to the audiobook of Yes Please by Amy Poehler. She's another actress / comedian that's in Parks and Rec and a bunch of other shows, and it's just all about her life, and it was amazing, and I loved it, and I have to pick it up soon. So Yes Please. And I don't know if I mentioned it, I listened to Daughter of the Burning City, which is a story about how there's a main girl who's part of a circus, and she can create illusions, and then all of her illusions get murdered, so she has to solve the mystery. That's just the watered down version. I don't want to give out too much away, because I tend to spoil things for people, so I don't want to do that. And then the last 3 books I want to mention that are standalones, I'll show you. I have Scrappy Little Nobody. I listened to the audiobook by her. It's her life story, and I just love the little print in here. It's really cute and pretty. And then just a white book. And it's also signed on the front here by her. And it's just her story, how she got all of her roles and how she was a tiny little girl. And then it's also got some funny photos in there as well, which I find really great. See? So, Scrappy Little Nobody is narrated by her, and let me just give you the blurb. Yeah. It's just basically her story on how she chose to pursue acting, and then she talks about her acting roles and whatnot. So, Scrappy Little Nobody was great. Then I have Dry by Neil Shusterman and Garrett Shusterman. Basically, California's tap water or water has been cut off, and a national crisis has started, and it takes place within a week about what happens, and yeah, it's just, you got to read it for yourself. It's wonderful. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. There were some points I loved and some points I didn't love. I own the book, but I lent it to a friend. It's The Woman in the Window. It's where this woman has agoraphobia. I think that's agoraphobia. But she's scared to leave her house after a tragic accident. New neighbors move in, and she becomes obsessed with observing what their day-to-day life is. And it's being turned into a movie in 2019, which is wonderful. And I cried, and I loved it very, very much. I want to reread it as soon as possible. And, yeah. Sorry, I just keep marking my stuff down. And the last book here on my list is my favorite standalone book of 2018 that I read, and that is A Life in Parts by Bryan Cranston. It is Bryan Cranston's life as he becomes a famous actor, and where his whole life started, his first marriage, all that stuff. It is read by him, which is awesome. I really love it. Also, look at that. Got Heisenberg on the back. If you haven't noticed, I'm a huge fan of Breaking Bad. Let me just show you my poster really quick. Yep. But I flew through the audiobook really, really quickly. It was an 8-hour audiobook. I finished it, I would say, I finished it in a day. It was wonderful. And when I picked up the book from Barnes & Noble to have my own personal copy because I loved it that much, I flew through the book a second time. And if I pick up this book right now and I open it and read the first sentence, I'm going to end up reading the whole thing again. So, I'm going to leave this bad boy to the side now. So, yeah, my favorite standalone of 2018, A Life in Parts. And then we're going to go to the series that I read that are my favorite of 2018. And then, like I said, we're going to do TV shows and games also. So, alrighty. I'm going to start with the books that I don't own. So, I'm just holding this for reference, but I finished all of the Legend of Korra comics, which is called Turf Wars, and It's basically about Asami and Korra's relationship after their vacation into the spirit world at the end of season 4 or book 4. So I'm not gonna spoil too much of anything, but it was wonderful. The artwork was beautiful, and I have to get the comic soon. So, Turf Wars parts 1, 2, and 3. Then, no, I also read Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, and also Leon the Offbeat. I loved Leon the Offbeat. It was wonderful. Her character was great. The audiobook was awesome. And give those both a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I also read the first volume of Monstrous, which was great. Wait a second. I also listened to the audiobooks of the 100 series, which was amazing. It kind of spoiled me to the 100. Kind of made me fall in love with I fell in love with the book series. The TV show is not as wonderful as I loved the books. Follows the same characters, whatnot. Also, Wells, I think his name is. Wells doesn't die, for one. But, yeah. I'll give the series as a whole a 4.5 out of 5 stars. And now we're going to get to my last few favorites here. I reread the Harry Potter series this year. I just picked up my favorite book because I'm not going to take out all of them. But this is my favorite book in the whole series. It's the Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. So there's this guy. I love Harry Potter. It was a reread, of course. I came to fall in love with Saga. I only have the first volume. I read all the other volumes online or on the Overdrive app. I completed up to date the 3 Dark Crowns trilogy. Holy smokes, they were amazing. It's about 3 sisters or set of triplets born every generation that have to fight for the throne, and whoever gets the throne becomes the next queen, and then is supposed to birth the next set of triplets, and so on and so forth. A lot of politics involved and all that type of stuff, but the characters are amazing and wonderful, and the story is great, so pick them up if you haven't. I picked up To All the Boys You Loved Before trilogy with To All the Boys You Loved Before, P.S. I Still Love You, and Always and Forever, Laura Jean. They're all by Jenny Han, and they're great. I read the books because I wanted to watch the movie of To All the Boys I Loved Before on Netflix, because I have Netflix. Wasn't disappointed. They were great. And that's that. And now we're coming up to my 2. These guys are tied for first place for my favorite series that I read in 2018. But I'll show these ones first. I have Renegades and Arch Enemies. I listened to the audiobooks. They were phenomenal. Basically, there's prodigies, which are kind of like mutants if you're thinking X-Men. And they have, there's the good guys who are the renegades, and then there's the bad guys who are, what are they called? Hold on a sec. I'm gonna check really quickly. Well, they're just so many. I can't even explain how or fathom how amazing this is, but I say pick up both of them. They're great. And the last one is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson for the books. Holy hell. Amazing, amazing, amazing. We follow Spencer, who we follow Spencer, whose father was a pilot in their world, which is war-stricken because there's an alien race that's fighting them, and her father is deemed a traitor, or not a traitor, but yeah, a traitor, because he fled the battle and got most of his fleet killed. So she has issues trying to join the fleet, and it's just, she goes to school. It's so complex. It's so wonderful, and I'm butchering it. And the audiobook is amazing. So pick it up if you haven't already. And then I'm going to go to the TV shows that I watched this year that I loved, that I just have to give a big shout out to. I got 5 out of 5 stars. And of course, Breaking Bad I rewatched, which got a 5 out of 5 stars. I watched Parks and Rec completely through. Loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. I watched Better Call Saul, This Is Us, The Office, and The 100. Loved them. And next, for the games, I played Let's Go Eevee. I played Let's Go Eevee, which was great. I completed it. Loved it. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, that was amazing. I played Snipper Clips on the Switch also, which was funny. My friends and I had a lot of good times with that. I played Mario Kart and Smash Ultimate. All great, all wonderful. And that's it for my favorites of 2018. Now, I hope you all have a good night, and goodbye. Hello, future me. I forgot to add a few things to my list, such as Let's Go Pikachu for one of the games, as well as some of the books that were some of my favorites also, such as Children of Blood and Bone, The Cruel Prince, Scythe, and Thunderhead. And I also forgot to add in the Afterlife of Holly Chase. Everything will be all together in a slideshow at the end, except for the books that I have physical copies of. And I hope you have a good one. Bye!